Well, who'd you think it was going to be at number one? Honestly, when this whole thing started, who did you think it was going to be at number one? Because there's only one guy. There's always only been one guy. Conor McGregor. What's he going to do? What is Conor McGregor going to do? And the one chip that Conor holds, and it is the only chip that he holds that no other fighter has. You got to understand it from that perspective. No matter how good you think Conor is at something, throw something at me. Throw something at me. A spinning wheel kick, great. Whatever that is. But however good he is at a spinning wheel kick, you could find another guy that's just as good at just as weird of a technique, right? Or we could make it something a little more simple, uppercut. Or we could make it a hook, or we could make it a double leg takedown, or we could make it a sweep from your bottom. We could find somebody else that could do all of those same things, can't we? What about who's fun at a press conference? We probably couldn't find somebody as fun, but we got fun guys. What about going to sit down and do an interview with TMZ Sports or get the attention of Pat McAfee? They'd rather have Conor, but that wasn't the question. Do we have somebody that they would welcome and give airtime to? Yeah, sure we do. And as you start playing that game, you start seeing that there's not huge differences from McGregor aside from one, which is he can get a fight. There is no other fighter, and there's ones that you can argue and you'd say, Chael, that's silly, and this guy's going to get a match. I understand, but there's no other fighter that is guaranteed to get a match if and when he wants one than Conor McGregor. If Conor wants to fight in February, just by example, Conor will fight in February. And there is no other fighter on the roster that could come out in as big of a media or as big of a platform as they could possibly reach and say, I demand a fight and I demand that it be in February. It just doesn't happen that way. If Conor was to say, I want to fight at 165 pounds in March, Conor would have a fight at 165 pounds in March. And my larger point is not the power or the suggestive power that Conor wields, but Conor's got the biggest thing that you can have in the sport, which is the mandate of the masses. Much more important than having a belt. Much more important in this space than having $1 million paydays or main events or back-end participation. If you have the mandate of the masses as a byproduct, I mean, just simply by default, you will have main events, title opportunities, back-end points, and participation. So, what are we going to see Conor do? And does he really want to fight? And by the way, the last person we can ask is him. The last person we can ask, hey, Conor, what are you going to do? Hey, what's old McGregor up to? The last person we can ask is him, because if he's standing closest to Dave Feldman, he says he's going to bare knuckle box. If he's standing closest to Dana White, he says his home is in the octagon. Probably the right answer at both times. Probably given the right answer. But is it the accurate answer? Is it the correct answer? What weight is he going to fight at? I mean, some of the ideas have gotten a little bit silly. Conor McGregor to come back and fight for a title. Conor McGregor versus Islam. Like, some of these ideas are silly. It doesn't mean that they want to happen. You guys do things all the time that are deemed silly. You do things all the time. But there's better options, other ways. I'm only suggesting for you that while I don't know, and it could be boxing in his future, and it could be MMA, and it could be the announcement of a retirement, and I think that that's the most likely of all three. I think that Conor McGregor retired the day that he announced he would not fight Michael Chandler. I remember where I personally was, as I was with my producer, Ryan Parsons, getting into a car in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and he turns the camera on right after the news had come to me through my device. He said, Chael, give me a reaction. And I remember saying, Conor McGregor will never fight again. The announcement that Conor is pulling out of the press conference and pulling out of the fight with Michael Champ is synonymous with Conor McGregor is retired from MMA. That was my stance then. That is my stance now. But that's not what Conor's saying. Conor's still enjoying it. Conor's still enjoying the idea of being a fighter. And the fans and the media and the promoters have let him get away with it. But they're not for long. The gig will be up by this time next year. The official announcement of the return or the official announcement of the exit. And there's no answer that's wrong, but it is the most compelling story of any story you could come up with in MMA. He's still the biggest draw. He doesn't have a license and he hasn't thrown a punch in years. I cannot remember the last time, but it is years, plural. And he's still the number one fighter to watch in 2026.